Hello everyone, Henry Soul Studios here, back again for another video. Now today is going to be pretty special because it's something I've never done, which is a review. And I'll just go ahead and put these on screen. We actually might have to back up a little bit for these to be in frame. I'll stick Scotsman back there. Yeah, so we'll cut to another camera angle now. Okay, as you can see now, we're at the different camera angle, and we're going to start with good old Thomas here. Now, I'm really excited to see this, because I've been hunting for these guys for a long while. Okay, that should do it. Oh, I have not opened one of these newer Trackmaster boxes, so I don't know how these work. Okay. Does it just fold? Okay. There we are. Oh, okay. This is a little strange. You get your Thomas in plastic behind this. Okay. It should be, there we go. Okay. I'll just set the main box to the side. And there is Thomas. Oh, fell, but let's just take a look. Something I noticed in watching videos about these guys. The instructions is pretty simple, you know, it's just your standard how to put batteries in. But they didn't take new photos. That is the same old 2014, 2015 Thomas. If I show you here, it's this guy. So it's just a little interesting to me that they didn't feel like shooting new photos. But, I mean, I guess we should be thankful that Mattel made Classic Thomas again in the first place. And there we go. So we'll uncouple and start with the main engine. I should probably also get a screwdriver for this. There we go. That's it. First thoughts. This is fantastic. I mean, I haven't seen, like, you know, last time I bought a Trackmaster was a while ago. I just bought this Salty, and I mean, you know, he looks alright, but my god, this guy. I love that new side rod detailing. We'll do a comparison with some older models later. That face is a fantastic CGI face. I'm not sure what this is supposed to be on the side, of scrapes or water or what have you. Molded lamp on the back, which is really nice, unpainted though, as well as the back buffers. And, of course, white foot plate, which hasn't really been done in the US. I think it was like RC Thomas, and that was it. So it isn't continuous, but it's on the front, and that's what matters. And yeah, overall, it's just a really nice model. So I'll do the comparisons now. So I have a couple of things. So, of course, there's your standard Playrail Thomas, or I guess this is the RWS one. I thought it'd be fitting to bring since it's the 80th anniversary merch. And as you can see, the proportions are wildly different. You know, this Thomas is a lot more elongated. That's what we're used to seeing. This one is much more proportionally accurate in height. Because, of course, this was extended to fit the AA battery, and they didn't really fix the height on it, because that's how Playrail usually is. But with these guys, it's much taller, which leads to the proportions also being better. And nice thing as well, there's a molded whistle, which on your Playrails and Trackmasters, that is always a sticker decal where it's printed. So now we'll just move him to the side and bring in Trackmaster 2 Thomas. And again, as you can see, very different look. This CGI face is much better in my opinion. And obviously, just look at how bare the front looks. No white footplate, no buffers or everything. And again, I think I'd say this and the play rail were on par, but this is just a huge upgrade to the 2015 Revolution Trackmasters. Yeah, as you can see, no molded lamp on the back, that's the same with the play rail as well. No buffer detailing. Yeah, so if we were to line them up, this is about how that'd look. It's just cool to see new Trackmasters in the first place. But I'll move those to the side. If I had any gripes with this guy, it would probably be the running board not being full, and then obviously the non-painted back lamp and of course whistle and buffers. We'll move on now. These trucks. Do these? I don't know if these are the wobbling ones. I don't think they are. Yeah, they're normal. They've went back to standard wheels, which I'm a big fan of. Those gear wheels were not a great look. And you get faces, which I know they started doing at the latter end of Revolution, but it's still really nice. You get this face, which is a classic for CGI, and this one. Just your standard trucks. Nice little weathering on the sides. I do believe they're the same exact truck, just with different faces. And also, nice thing they did, the crates are different colors. But something I want to bring up is these crates were a reused mold. So I showed my Salty earlier. This came with that. It's this little flatbed. And this is the whole reason I bought Salty, because I just wanted these crates. And as you can see, this is the same exact crates. I obviously, I don't have an issue with this. But just a little quick note. I do love these crates. They're great for filming. They look really nice on your layouts. So I'll definitely be using those, and you'll see them more in the future. Okay, so we're here with Gordon now.
Okay, so before we get into Gordon, I just want to say special shout out to my mom. I wouldn't have found Gordon without her. It was kind of hidden in the store behind a display case and a diesel. So just, yeah, huge shout out.
The main gripes with this vine that I've seen has been Gordon and James. Let's just... Yep, there we go. And one up here. Okay. Hopefully I remember how to do this from Thomas earlier. Yep, there we go. And here is Gordon. Now, yeah, let's just take a look at him. Very, huge engine. I really like that face. White running board again. I've seen what people don't like is that running board doesn't extend out enough, which I do agree with. But people usually just kind of write them off. I do like this Gordon still. Yeah. Of course, you have your side rods with the special stuff, and also the whole. I don't want to say the same word here. Side rod system. Yeah, very nice detailing. I won't be pointing out all the stuff like I did on Thomas because it carries over. White running board, red switch, what have you. But yeah, very nice. And Gordon's tender here. Also very nice. I saw this coal load, which I was intrigued with, and I'll show you why later. But completely empty, not dirty on the inside. That's something I think could have been painted black. And something I do like is there is a foot plate, which I love the tenders with foot plates because, I don't have an example here, but you can put your HO figures, your Lego figures, whoever can drive the engine. Yeah, very nice. And we'll speak on this coal load later. This does very much remind me of the Tomy coal loads. As you can see, it does fit in a truck. And I imagine if we steal the coal load from James, this will also look just really nice in there. And finally, what a lot of people were probably excited about in this pack, the Express Coach reintroduced once again. Now, this does have the gear wheels, which kind of sucks, but, you know, it's fine. I do have the Express Coach from the Talking Gordon release, which we'll compare with here in a second. Yeah, I think it is actually, yeah, it's just a repainted Annie or Clarabelle. That's why it has gear wheels. But, you know, I don't mind it. And also, it has open windows, which I mean, you know, not as good as glass windows. Or not glass, but, you know, clear plastic. But overall, I still think it does look really nice. You know, you can have Thomas Shunt in the Express. I do want to pick up some more Gordons. It's just for the Express coaches. Yeah, there he is all together. Very, very nice. And now we'll do the comparison that I wanted to do for this guy. Here is one that I was wanting to do, which is the Talking Gordon. So, you know, this is our normal Gordon comparison for this round. Same thing for Thomas applies here. But here's what I want to talk about specifically. And here are these tenders. They're very, very similar. Same exact size, actually, but they didn't just reuse the tooling, which is quite interesting to me, because they could have definitely gotten away with just this, but they didn't try to. Actually, you know, just for comparison, this looks really good, actually, in my opinion. But here's my point, though, on these, which is the coal load. The ones in the previous one I really like, which was you could have your full coal or a little shoveled coal. And you can just put in there, you know, it looks nice. This one, however, you just get that one side, and there's just nothing on the other side. And also, on that topic, in the tenders, so you can see what I was talking about, the black and coal texture in here, and there's nothing in here. Now, you can say what you want about that. I do think the coal texture looks a little better, but you can put these in here. I think they didn't reuse the tooling, because it slides around, obviously. As you can see, you can't put the new tooling in there. But that is the tenders. So let's talk about what might be something that, or what most people wanted to see, which was the Express Coach comparison. As you can see, this one opened up, which was cool. This one obviously doesn't. Very similar shade of green. I think this one might be a little darker. And as you can see, since this is a repainted Annie and Clarabelle, there is none of this detailing. And the roof is a different color. It's more so gray molded plastic, whereas I think this is painted, because this is one whole piece, the top part, unlike this where the roof is a separate mold. Yeah, much bigger windows here and much less windows here. These have a lot more. Yeah, if you did want to couple them up, I mean, you could. It just looks kind of wrong, but yeah, it'd be fine if you really wanted to. Okay, with that, let's move on to James. Okay, so we're here with James in all his gleaming red glory. Let's just free him from this plastic prison real quick. And here's James. Let's, you know, get a cool, nice 360. Not going to go into too much detail here. Oh! Okay, I didn't think I was going to go into much detail, but this is mandatory. You see, Gordon didn't have anything open back there, but James does. And as I mentioned, I love the little foot plates, so you can put your workmen, drivers, firemen, you know, all those guys that help the railway run, and they can stand back there. And he has, so you can get double the workmen, and that is fantastic. I remember I used to always put Tomies or Legos on my Tomies, and that was really good experience. And you can do that again with these guys. Let's just get a cool focused shot. Yep. People don't like his face. I think it's a good CGI representation of James. Of course, white running board. I will say it does look a little bare without lamp irons. Probably should have said that for Gordon too, but I don't think there's space on his. There's the side. Yeah. The red switch does stick out a lot less on James. I don't know if that's because he's taller. Oh, yep, that's definitely why. But, very nice. Here is his tender. Probably the same mold as Gordon's. Yeah. Maybe smaller wheels, or I'm going crazy. But yeah, these are the same mold. What else would you expect? They're both Fowler tenders. Yeah, as I said, really love that foot plate. You can get double the figures on James. And your milk tanker. Well, I guess it might not be milk. It might just be pesticide or whatever. Now, sadly, I don't have a Trackmaster 2 tanker to compare this with, but I do have a good old Trackmaster one, which I seem to have misplaced. Oh, here it is. Obviously isn't the same type of tanker, but it'll work. Obviously the length is a lot different, but it's the same in height. Now, honestly, you could go either way with this. I think, of course, the height on this tanker is a lot better, but the length on this one is, because this is better, because this is just so squished. But it does have very nice molding. You can see the little line band things that you don't have on this Trackmaster one. But still, I really like it. I'd say I like them about the same. And now for our James comparison. And here is Trackmaster James. This is the, I want to say Mattel one, the first Mattel release of James after Hit Toys. It is, of course, modified, painted, running board, lamp irons, not original eyebrows, and I've redone the lighting. But you can still see the general shaping. Yeah, another thing, he didn't have that back open cab, which I love, love, love on this one. Yeah, there's James and his tender. Not really much to say here, This is probably about what you imagined. Yeah, so overall rating of the new motorized James, I love him just as much as all the other engines in this range. It's just so nice seeing like classic Thomas merch again after being exposed to this for however long it's been, 5 years at this point. Jeez, these just look fantastic together. It's beautiful. With that said, let's move on to Flying Scotsman. And here he is in all his glory. Just saying, I'm not trying to cause any arguments here, but did City of Churro get a Trackmaster release? No, he did not. So, I think that settles it pretty much. And here is the great Flying Scotsman. Let's start with his front. Nice face. I will say, though, I do think the old Trackmaster Revolution Great Race release was better. But this is still serviceable. Very long funnel. Or wide, I should say. Nice handrails. Flying Scotsman. Same basic. If we compare them to Gordon, they have the same cab. And they have different boilers and different running boards. I do think Scotsman's running board, hope you can't see them, Scotsman's running board's a little better, but that's just me. Also noticing here, I'm not sure if if Scotsman's supposed to have round buffers or not. I know the real one does, but as you can see, the old Trackmaster release had the same weird oval square buffers as Gordon does. But yeah, here are his tenders. First, the coal tender. This one does not have removable coal, unfortunately. And the water tender. I know a lot of people wanted to see if these were reused from old Scotsman, but they weren't, as you can see. These ones are taller, of course, different green, have different printing. I should probably lower the camera. There we go. Yeah. One thing I will say though, this one, the old one, has a molded back lamp on both tenders, but sadly the new one has lost that feature. I will say though, the color on the new one, they're both not great. Let's just be honest. This isn't apple green. I'd say probably the older livery was closer to apple green, but this new livery is still very nice. It reminds me, if you know the brand Delta Cream Coat, it reminds me of their Christmas green color. So that was the tenders, and let's compare the engines. As you can see, very similar faces. Yeah. Overall, very nice. Now let's move on to the running session.
Hey guys, Editor Henry here. So this video is already 20 minutes long, and it would probably just be way too long if I added a whole running session on top of it. So that's going to be a separate video, so you can make sure to look out for that. That'll be out pretty soon. So yeah, with that being said, this has been Henry's Helpful Studios, signing off. Goodbye.